Simon Carpenter. I'm from a German software company called SAP. We operate across Africa, and I'm sure some of you have heard of us. The perception you have of SAP being for large organizations is one that we made ourselves, because in the early days of SAP, we very clearly focused on enabling the largest organizations around the world to run their businesses better. But over the last decade, we've been focusing more and more on small and medium enterprises, because that's where the economic growth is for particularly in the BRICS countries. So to the previous two speakers, Keith and Idan, talking about telecommunications, if you're investing in telecommunications, you want SAP out there, because we soak up broadband in a big way. And I mean, that's the nature of the beast. If you look at our organization today, worldwide, we estimate that around about 60% of global commercial business trade goes through companies that are using SAP. So we have a massive footprint out there. If you're going to have a beer afterwards, it'll be interesting for you to know that 75% of the world's beer is planned and distributed through SAP systems. That's something we take very seriously. But to come back to Africa and looking at SAP as an engine for investment, I think the most obvious place to invest around SAP is in the organizations out there. We call them systems integration companies that typically implement our software into organizations of all sizes and shapes. So to your point about the SME space, we're closing one new customer a day in Africa in the SME space with a product called Business One. And what this is doing is it's creating some wonderful opportunities for small entrepreneurs to build businesses around our platforms. And to kind of give you a sense of that, in South Africa alone, since I've been in the company for about 18 years, we've created something like 3,500 jobs, SAP consultants, in the SADC region. And that probably represents somewhere around 150 companies today. So some of those companies have been funded by angel investors to get themselves off the ground, and I think many of them have provided pretty good returns. I know SAP itself has provided a really good return to its own BEE partner. So as we look into Africa, we're very excited about the opportunities in the extractive industries, in the public sector, and in banking. And we're investing into Africa ourselves, building hubs in West Africa and East Africa. And crucial to our success is to find partners on the ground who have the necessary skills and capacity to go and work with our software customers to implement the software, manage the programs, drive the change consulting that's needed typically when you do this sort of stuff. So if I was to kind of distill it down to the essence of it, we're looking for skills. Our software does not work without the right sort of skills to both implement it and then consume it inside the business. So that's where we're very, very focused, and that's where we're looking for partnerships. Then we're doing some quite interesting stuff on the side, and the point you mentioned about the farmers. This is a project we've done up in Ghana where we've used the mobile technology to hook small, typically women farmers who are involved in something called shea butter, shea nuts. They sell these nuts to large pharmaceutical type or CP companies. And as farmers, they get a very, very small margin on the product they produce. And one of the things we think we can do by exploiting technology sensibly is we can allow Africans to capture more value in these big multinational value chains. So we're very focused on that with that initiative. We've done an initiative with the government of Ghana where we are supporting their extractive industries transparency index. So providing analytical software to make sure the government's getting the kind of royalties it should be getting. And then locally, we have an R&D capability that sits out in Pretoria, which is driving some quite interesting stuff in the mobile space. What we've done there is we've come together with the likes of Vodacom and a couple of the banks, and we're building solutions for typically rural spaza shop owners, allowing them to now come into the formal economy using a feature phone. So they don't even have to have a smartphone, but they can start to transact and order their stocks, manage their cash flows, and manage their businesses, all using a feature phone. So that's the kind of stuff we're up to. We have a very strong mobile platform. In fact, M-Pesa was built using components of this platform, and some of the local banks are already also leveraging it. And one thing we need to find, and I'm not sure what the answer is here, but we need to find ways to get more African entrepreneurs to step up to the plate and start writing these type of mobile apps that are germane to the way our economies and our cultures hang together. So, if anyone wants to talk to SAP about that, we'd be really happy to do that. And then one of the values we can bring is we can take that to a global audience through our Eco Hub. If I think about the layers of the technology stack, the layer that we occupy doesn't suggest any obvious opportunities for triple Ps. They do tend to be down in the infrastructure space. But the one where we have had some conversations that haven't really gone anywhere is around the notion of capacitating local governments in particular. So investing in a platform that conforms to the Municipal Finance Management Act and all of the processes for billing and business intelligence and human capital management and the like at the local government level, and then operating that at scale in the center. I think there is an opportunity in there that should be explored. Our experience in Africa, outside of the SADC region, is that you have to go and do that digging. You have to find the right people to talk to. You have to find the right conversations to have with them. And this is one of the reasons why when we go into Africa, we look for local partners who have a deeper understanding of the lay of the land, as it were. And we then see our role to bring global capabilities into that country, but working in concert with local investors, local partners who can actually make it happen. The broadband issue is absolutely fundamental for us. Sitting where we sit in the technology stack, it really is all about making sure that our extractive industries are properly managed, that we are able to run optimal business processes, that we're able to make sure companies and public sector organizations are properly governed, are properly compliant, and are providing the sort of transparency and visibility that investors demand. We're also, very involved in making sure that business processes run efficiently so that those investments can drive a return in whatever industry or company it is that we're involved with. It's all skills-based for us, so I think our biggest challenge as we look into Africa is actually less the broadband and the electrical infrastructure and more access to the right kind of people to make this stuff happen.
Doing business in Africa, you can't afford to be without Africa Investor.